Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. So as I said last time, I'm going to come back with the bite-sized book of fairy wishes, which was part of the big pack that I got for the members free gift. And I'm just going to make a couple of cards with this today, just to give you a few ideas. Now they're going to be quite basic ideas. I'm not using any dies or anything like that. It's just going to be pure sort of cutting and mounting onto card. Just because I know there are some of you guys out there that don't have die cutting machines, or you may not even have any of the frames or anything. I mean, obviously you could come in and use any of your little frames that you've got left over, just mount behind whatever. But I'm not going to be doing that today. I'm just going to be doing two fairly simple cards, quite late in the day here in the UK. It's like 8:30. So we will see what we can do. So I did bring in this Duo Design Radiant Roses and Delightful Dots pad, because I did think that the green, where are you, there, does match in quite well with the papers from the kit. Sort of contrasted quite nicely, and even with the adorable scoreable as well. So I am going to be using one of those. Just check I've just got one page. Yeah, I have. So let's pop that out of the way. So the first card is going to be a reverse easel. That's if I don't get halfway through and decide that I'm making something else because I've totally forgotten. But I'm going to bring in a piece of 6x12 300 GSM cardstock, and I'm going to score at 3 and at 6. Sorry if you can hear a squeak. Henry's just come in with the new ball. I bought him today. So he may insist on me throwing that for him in a minute. Because my sister does hide it from him, his little balls and toys and things. He thinks this is a game that we all want to play, and he quite often comes in and puts his ball in the bottom of my tray and behind my chair. It's almost like he's saying, now you find it. Do you know what I mean? So, okay. So this is the fold I'm going to use for this reverse easel. So if I was doing a normal easel, it would go like so. That shape. Okay. But because I'm doing a reverse easel, I fold that back. So you've got that sort of zigzag shape instead. Okay. So let's bring in the trimmer. She says, what have I done with it? I've hidden it behind the guillotine. There we go. Okay, so I need to do a piece for the bottom and for this top piece here, and then I'm also going to have to create my actual topper as well. So I am going to be using gold. You could come in with any foil colour, because obviously these are not foiled, but I'm just going to do it with the gold because that's what I've got to hand today. So for the bottom piece, we're going to go 2 notches under that 6 and 2 notches under that 6. Henry, don't put it down there. I won't be able to get it out. Sorry, he's trying to put it in a very silly place. Okay, let me just... And we're going to cut for the top piece, that's 3 inches, so 2 notches under the 3 and 2 notches under the 6. Okay, just grab his ball and throw that out. There we go. And let's see. So we are going to go, I think, with the green fairy, obviously, because I've got all those pieces out. I'm going to need 2 of these pages because I will decoupage her just a little bit. And let's see what size these are. So they are 2 notches under the 6. So because I'm cutting her out, it doesn't really matter what size I go to on the second one. But I'm going to take this little floral border off the top. I'm going to keep it on the side, so that's going to bring us down to just under 5.5 or 5.5 and a notch. And then what have we got this way? We have got, let's just bring that down a little bit on each side just to bring that to 4. And then that's just going to make it easier for me to do my layers. I'm just taking a bit off each side just to keep it nice and even. There we go. So let's get rid of those. Okay, so now we've got a topper that is 4 by 1 notch under 5.5. So if I bring a little bit of, no, I'm not going to go with gold, I think I'm going to go with the green Adorable Scoreable. Okay, I want to go with gold. I'll do both. Okay, so let's go 2 notches over the 4. And it was 5.5 minus 1 notch, so we're going to go to 1 notch over 5.5. So that should give us a tiny little border all the way around. And it does. We could just go a little bit narrower on that top piece. I'm just taking the tiniest little slither off. Sliver. Yep, that's perfect. And then in that side. So if I go to 4.25 by 5.75 minus 1 notch, I think that should be a nice map for this gold. Let's turn it that way so it's not flashing. Yeah. Okay, so that's that piece done. We'll pop those to the side. We don't want to waste any of that because we can foil on it. So for the top piece, the little half piece of card there, I'm going to bring in. Yeah, so I'm going to have to do it that way. So I'm going to bring that to 5.75 and 2.75, and then that should fit onto that gold piece quite nicely. I might sneeze in a second, so I do apologise. Okay, so I'm just going to take another little piece off here. Just not quite where I want it to be. I think that's a bit better. And then for the bottom, I'm going to use my lovely dots. So that just needs to be 5.75 on both sides. And obviously that can be a border. We might use that on the next card actually, because I was planning on doing a border. And then 5.75. And let's pick that gold up. Just going to make sure that fits nicely on there. And it does. Now I did have left over from the green kit, if I haven't lost it by throwing it in a pile on my computer. Ah, there it is. I did have this border left over, which is, I'm assuming it's from that because it was in the same pile. But if it's not, it still fits in quite nice with our green tones, but it's got a happy birthday on it. Okay, so I'm just going to also just do, just in case I decide that I'm not going to use that, which may well happen. What's this here? So we need a piece of the green. Just going to do a bit just to do as my stopper, just in case I change my mind. So where are we at with this? What size is this? So I'm going to bring this to 5.75. and then I'm going to take that to 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to bring a piece of this green with the leaves, and ideally I want the leaves going that way. I will cut a piece off here. So that was 1.5. So I'm just going to bring this in because I want to cut it on this side, because I've noticed that I seem to have a slight difference in the sizes when I cut it on here and when I cut it on the other side, measuring on the other side. But let's just pop that on at 2 notches under the 1.5. Just check the width on that. Looks like it could be gold. Yeah, it's fine. And then we went to 5 3/4, I think. Yeah. 5 3/4. Now let's see. Do I want a bit of gold on there as well? Let me grab a piece of gold. Let's have a little look. I think what I'll do is I'm going to take another 2 notches off this. So we were at 1.5 minus 2 notches. So I'm just going to cut this down again. So it's going to be 1.25. And then what I'm going to do is take this gold piece and I'm going to make that 1.5 minus 2 notches, and 5 3/4. Just because I feel it's going to be better if I've got these leaves on a bit of gold, and then that goes on to the green. I could go again with a gold underneath that, but I'm not going to. I think that's going to be fine. Just need to take the tiniest bit off there, just so that fits nicely on that gold. And then we should be fine. Okay. Let's do some assembling. Okay, so the glues I'm going to be using, for my cardstock, I'll be using the Collall Tacky Glue and the Collall All-Purpose Glue. For the papers, of which there is more today, I am going to be using my glue runner, she says, which has disappeared. There it is. Right there. Okay, so let's make this happen. Let's start to do this assembly. So I'm going to start with the card base first of all. And just before I go on and do that, I'm just going to use this porcelain folder, or porcelain folder, and just give that a really good press down. And for the cardstock, like I say, I'm using that all-purpose glue and a little bit of tacky glue in the corner. Then for the actual papers, I'm using the all-purpose glue, and then just in the corners, just to give us that stick straight away, so we can go ahead and add our other bits on. And I've noticed that the leaves are going a different way on this bit, but I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference because a lot of it's going to be covered up with our topper anyway. Okay. Just going to move that down again if I can. Come on now. then same again with this one. All purpose on there. Key on that corner. And pop onto here. Try and get that as neatly as I can. And then again, because this is the paper, I can put some glue dots on the corners. It just means I can maneuver it into a position where I want it to with that all-purpose glue, and the all-purpose glue doesn't soak into the paper and make it bubbly, or at least I haven't found that to do that so far. And then once I'm happy with that, if I give that a press down, those glue dots will make contact straight away and will then keep that in place for me. There we go. Okay, so that's what we're looking like at the moment. And then this one's going onto there, so I'm just going to pop our gold layer on, and obviously all of these layers will help strengthen this piece. And I can go all the way back in here again with those glue dots in the corners. And then we'll just pop our little fairy on. She's into position, and obviously you could go in and round those corners if you wanted to, anything like that. And then I'm going to also, just while I'm here, that was onto the green, wasn't it? Yeah. Just pop these on. I'm not going to glue them on yet, but I just want them there ready to go when we are. Okay, I'm just going to do the same again on here. Oops. And you could totally go with the other way if you preferred those little sprinkle stars. Just going to pick that up so I can just not quite right. That's fine. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to do, so let's give that a good press down because I could just see it lifting a little, is grab some scissors. And I'm just going to go around this little fairy. So just roughly going round. So I'm going to come in under that dress. Just come round there. And make it as easy as possible. So obviously we've got the legs and everything there, so this just matches up. Sorry if you heard Henry have a little bark there. Friday's bin day. And I don't think everybody has managed to bring the bins up yet. I know we haven't. just going around and with the hair, like I say, I'm just going to go around roughly because we've got the hair underneath anyway, and I'm cutting off her wings. I know it's terrible. Let's just take that out of the way. I'm just going to go around her little headdress. And I'm only just going to do one layer, but if you wanted to do more layers, you know, maybe do the arms again or the dress again. Not going to worry about the little flower. Just going to come all the way around. Following that dress again. Let's go up to the big bit. And then I'm going to come up. And you're going to feel like it's really messy, because I always feel like, oh, this cutting's awful. But once it's on a card, it does sort of really all come together. Just go around her feet. Try not to cut her toes off. There we go. And then if there's any bits are a little bit landlocked, like here. And then just poke that out. There we go. And I think it's probably not the neatest I've ever cut, but like I say, once she's on, you're really not going to notice that at all. Just go under there, under here. And I'm just going to use my knife to come in a little closer on these legs. There we go, I think that will do. See, you could just sit here and take bits off forever, but right, let's put the knife away. Put that away. Okay. So she is going to go back onto there. We're going to just use our fingers just to round her up a little bit, especially down those legs. And if you sort of struggle, if you get something that has a rounded end, like a pen like this or a ball tool, you can just go in and just shake that on your hands a little bit. And that's particularly good for little arms. Like so. Okay. Okay, and then if I grab my hidden foam pads, and we're just going to turn her over. These are just 1mm ones. I'm just keeping it nice and low. And all I'm going to do is just put foam pads down the middle. And then all the other curling and paper sort of warming that we've done should mean that it will curl in and be sort of quite natural. Come on now. There we go. Got 'em. Actually, I might just put a tiny piece on there. Would have been better with one of those little squares, to be honest, but we will manage this if it comes off. I'm just going to put that there, and we can peel these off. And it is, because it's paper, it is a little bit more fragile, so just be careful when you're shaping it and stuff, because you don't want to rip it. And then we're just gonna take that off my finger, put a tacky glue on the top just to give us a bit of wiggle room time, hopefully. And then we're just going to, excuse my head if it comes in, I'm just going to match it up. We're about there. So now we've got our lovely little fairy coming off the page. And what I'm also going to do, just while I am here, if I grab a little piece of, just use this card blank for a second. I'm just going to come in with my quickie glue pen, and I'm just going to go around these wings. I'm just putting some sort of, there are some sort of stroke marks, because it's kind of a watercoloured fairy, but there's kind of like very faint sort of brush marks, so I'm just following that. I'm not sure if I just put my hand in the other side, but that's there. And then what I'm going to do, just these little white dots are sort of showing our magicness of our fairy. Yeah, that should be okay. And then I'm just going to come in with the Deco Art glue, Deco Art Glamour Dust. Just my favourite fine glitter. You may have others. It's just going to, oh, we didn't put some up there. Those things. So we've just got that little bit of sparkle coming off there. And then it goes back in. Pretty much. Come on. Yep. It's really good glitter, that. I really do like it. Okay, so let's come back to our sort of card. So you want to keep the topper within the space of the card, because if you put it on like this, you will still be able to stand it up. Obviously it won't be as high, but it just means you won't get it in a 6x6 envelope. So if you keep it within the confines of your card actual shape, then you know that you're going to be able to get that into the same size envelope as your card. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll just use a little bit of red liner tape, just because I'm not going to leave that to sit while I'm making this card. So just a tiny little bit. It's just going to give us a little bit of confidence that that is going to stay there while I do the other aspects on my card. And obviously you only need to put glue where it's going to be. So I'm just going to pop it in this top sector, this top section. So if I turn my card around, I'm going in the middle for this one. I think we are about there. And I'm going to go there. So, okay. So there is our little fairy on there. I'm just going to give that a good press down. And then we need to raise this up so that it can be the stopper on our card. I decided I'm not going to use that border. I'm going to use, I have got something else here, a little sentiment from one of the sentiment books. So I think I'll use that instead. So just putting these 1/3 pads all the way along. Those in there. One in there. Again with this glue, I kind of think in the middle is going to be fine, so we'll just pop that along there, get that pressed down. Yeah, she's going to stand quite nicely. And then in the, it's one of the little books of sentiments, I found this little for the perfect granddaughter. So I'm going to come in with this. I think I will raise it again a little bit. So another 1mm off this border. Or we could go in on there. Actually, it might stand out there a little bit more. Let me just hold that so you can see. Yeah, actually I'm going to leave that border as it is, probably put some gems on it. I don't think this is as straight as it could be, but oh, that's a bit better, it's moved. Okay, so yeah, so I'm still going to put a little bit of a foam pad on. Just grab that off. I'm just going to pop that on there. And then I know I'm not going to put it where it's not. Oops. Don't worry about that. And then we'll come over, I think back there is going to be fine. And then I have some of these, not very many now, I need to do some more. Some of these little gold butterflies, just 3 tiny ones. So 1, 2 and 3. You could you know, cut the butterflies out from that page. Just dropped it. Bear with me 2 seconds. And my chair will creak. Oh, there we go. Yeah, such a creaky chair. And let's pop these on. So I did have a bit of glue that splattered. Put that there actually. And then bring this one in. I'm just going to pop that one down there. Leave my little tweezers just to get that sitting upwards like we want it. And then what I'm going to do is also pop one here, because that's not going to affect when the card is closed. He's all on his own when he stands up. There we go. And then I think let's go up on this side as well. And I am going to do some gems as well, so pop that onto there. Come on now. There we go. So we've got those 3 there. And I did bring out some gems, which I might have buried. Nope, there they are. So let's come in, I think maybe go with the darker ones, but the small ones. I hate when the sticky bit comes off the back, or it's not quite square on. Okay, now I'm going to have to use some proper glue because that's come off of my hand there. There we go, there he is. 1, 2 and 3. Henry's back with his ball. One, 2 and 3. And then what I also want to do is pop that up. Pop. Two there, so we've got 5. And then I'm going to do 2 small ones, 1 each corner, just to bring that bit of sparkle in. Okay, so let's have a little look at the final card. I'll try and show it to you guys. That is that finished reverse easel, which I finally managed to do correctly. Ooh. And obviously that folds down and goes in a 6x6 envelope. Doesn't look too fat, although I probably would still put it in a little boxalope maybe, or a little box, just to keep it nice and safe. I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for the second card, I've already taken a piece of 6x12 and just scored it in half to make a 6-inch temp fold. And I've picked this pink fairy from the little book there. I quite like the opportunities to sparkle, because it looks like there's all sorts of gems in her headdress, and then you've also got all of her dress and everything. I will be cutting it down a bit though. And then from the Butterfly Royale and Delightful Diamonds, I've picked this sort of pink diamond paper. I've got some glitter card, that's Hunkydory. This is part of the insert and paper pack. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that yet. And this is the Adorable Scoreable, which came with the big pack that I got. Okay, so let's just put that to the side a second, bring that trimmer in. And this is going to be quite a simple card really, and hopefully it won't look simple because we've got all these sparkle and everything on. So the glitter card, I'm just going to cut that as if I would my gold, so 2 notches under the 6 and 2 notches under the 6, and then this piece left over there, I'm going to take that to 1.5. And it should already be 2 notches under the 6, and it is. And then I'm going to bring in the diamonds, and we're going to go at 5 3/4 square, because this is our background piece, and that's a nice sort of size piece for a border, if you're doing a Z fold, anything like that. And then again on that side, hopefully that should fit quite nicely on there. Just check I've got that straight. Just was tapering up just a little bit, so hopefully that should fixed it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then for this piece here, I was thinking a plain piece to sort of break up all of that, those diamonds. Let's try it with a plain. We might go to the sparkle. That's the bit I was unsure about. So I'm just going to go 2 notches under 1.5. Still got a lovely big piece there to foil on or whatever I want to do. And then we're going to go to we'll go to 4 notches under the 6 or 5 3/4. That means we should have a border on there. We do. Let me just put the same thing on here. I know it's a bit wasteful, but just not sure if this deeper pink might work. You know, just slightly different shade of pink would work better than that fuchsia adorable scoreable. Let's try. We could try the sparkles. I don't think I want the flowers. I think the flowers are a bit much. Although I do quite like that actually. Let's see what that is. Oops, sorry, I banged the camera. Okay. Undecided on which size I'm going to use. I quite like the flowers. Right, let's come back to my topper, wherever I have put that. Buried it. Here we are. So I am going to cut this down because it is huge. So let's see. So I can take a little bit off her hair for a start. And then I can take, I think, let's go down to about there and I see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that's kind of getting there. I'm going to take another little bit off because I'm going to put the glitter on as well. So let's take that from there, and then I'm going to take 3 notches from each side. And 1, 2, 3. So it's not doing it to any particular measurement, I'm just doing it equally. So we've got 4, 3.5 plus 2. So let's do that first. 3.5 plus 2, so let's go to 3 3/4. See how that is on there. Okay, and then this is 4.5 plus 1, so 4.5 plus 3. Keep fingers crossed. Oops. We just need a tiny little bit off the bottom. Just a slightly smaller border around the edges. So let's just take a smidge off. There we go. Okay, I think we can work with that. Let's pop that out of the way. So I'm not sure if I'm going to round the edges on that yet. I might well do. But let's come in with the purpose first of all. One in the middle. There we go. That would just be a tad small, I think. Okay. And then this one. I'm going to come in with these with this dotty tape pen. Now I don't know how it's going to be on this glitter card. It may give us a stick long enough for that other glue to go off. or it may not stick at all. I've never tried it with a glitter card, to be honest, and I know glitter card is notorious for being hard to find things to stick to reliably. Let's just give that a little press down, warm that glue up on my hands. Sorry if the camera shakes a little bit. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, I think it's gone down quite nicely. Now, I think I really did like the flowers, even though they're very bright, but maybe this card just needs a little bit of bright. Let's see. So I'm going to put her somewhere along there. And then the sentiment I had, actually there is another border, there's a border left from the original. That's the sentiment, I grabbed that of the book. There's this little butterfly border left in the cardstock from Spread Your Wings. I might use that. Let's bring it out to see how it looks. There's plenty of other fairies if we don't use it on here. I'm not liking that, to be honest. Let's try. No, we'll get rid of that. Let's keep it as it is. So we're going here. I think I might round these corners just for a bit of a different look. On there. And then we've got our little special niece, which we can either put on there or we can put somewhere. And then I've got some gems already sorted out. Those big ones, or those light little ones. I might swap them for something else. Actually, they look a little pale against it now. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to rustle. Those little ones. Maybe these enamel dots. I've been desperate to use those. Okay, and I haven't got any pink ribbon to hand, or we could have put some ribbon across. Right, let's go ahead and get this on here. So again, I decided on that floral just to give it that bit of burst. Sorry, a bit of string of glue. And put this on. And you have to be careful with the all-purpose glue with this glitter card, because it will take the glitter coating off, because it is a coated card. But I do find that it sticks. I've glued with it before. It's just that if you do try and peel it up, it will bring that glitter away with it. Okay, so let's grab a corner rounder. Let's see which ones we want to use. Might have to. Not sure what. Not sure if that one fits on there. It doesn't. Maybe it fits in that one. There we go. Okay. Let's see if there are any other ones in here. We've got the one that takes a bite out. And what's that? That's glue in. That's a tiny corner one. Okay, we'll go with this one. So I'll give that a second. And we'll just do this on the topper just to give it a little bit of difference. If you've got any of the dies, then you can just pop it into one of the die sets. I may use some dies when I make some cards of this. It will be tomorrow now because this is quite late now. I think it's 9:30. Sorry if that made the camera shake. So that's going to go onto there quite nicely. Got a lovely thin border round. Okay, what I'm going to do is grab that little card that I used just now for the glittering, And if we stick this onto here, first of all, let's get rid of those. Nice amount of glue. Again with our glue dots, because it seems to work on that other layer. And we'll pop Mrs. Pink Fairy on. Don't know why I'm calling her Mrs. She might be Miss. Well, she's got a tiara on, so maybe she's getting married. Okay. And then we're going to come in with that quickie glue pen again. It is hiding under there. And like I said before, it's got kind of like little sparkles in her headdress. So I'm just putting some dots in. There might be dewdrops, there might be diamonds. I don't know what fairies wear in their hair. And then these little dots again. Pretty much just put dots anywhere really. Just some of these little lines. It's just sort of hinting at light. Coming through. I'm also going to glitter up her little dress because it looks like she's gone glitzy. She's glamour fairy. So you can do as much or as little as you wanted to. And there we're going to come in with that sparkle. You could also instead of using sparkle, if you've got you know, like a glitter pen, the glitter overlay pen, if you want something really subtle. I did think with that tiara she didn't look like a fairy that wanted to hide in a corner. There we go. So there we've got our little sparkles. I'm actually just going to bring that pen back in. Just notice this over this side, but we've not added that in. Going to tuck that down here. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm not happy with wearing all the glitter again, but hey ho. So right, okay, so we're going to come across this middle. I think we're going to come about there. I think I don't want it in the middle. I want it sort of just below the middle. Might end up in the middle, but as long as it's straight, I don't mind. Right, okay, so let's go back there. We're not far off the middle, are we? So it's there. I'm going to come in with somewhat full pads. Where have you gone? Let's come back here. I'm just going to be a little bit careful putting some on the back. Don't want to squash all that glitter down. What I normally do is once the glitter's dry, I just run over it with a dry brush, just so that any bits of glitter that are not in the right place or not stuck to any glue come off and don't sort of fall on people's knee when they open the card. Some people like it. My nephews do not. Although obviously this wouldn't be for my nephew. So let's just take these off there carefully as I can. I'm not putting any butterflies on this one because I've used them all up. I may come in later and add some on, but I won't be taking a picture with them on. So, but this is just two sort of semi-quick ways, just using up bits of stash that you might already have. It's worth just checking if you've got any of those duo design books. You know, if you've had a goodie box from Hunkydory at any time, you may already have them. You may have some other pink papers in your stash. Let's go around about there, I think. No, it doesn't have to be Hunkydory that goes with it. Let's go. That got on there nicely. I don't know if that's going to be too big. Yes, it is. So let's just take a piece off there and a piece off here. Okay, and then we're just going to come in with this. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it yet. Oops, stand up, silly thing. So we've got to a very special niece. I might come up there because not so very much going on. I'm going to need another pad under there. Let's just take on. Hopefully it's going to make me take the back off. Let's try going from the other ends. The top end was sliding around, but the bottom bit is stuck. There we go. So I hadn't contemplated that that would be slightly different. Right, so I decided I was going to come in with these. These are taking it back to that pretty pink. And I'm going to need those. Now these, last time I think they were a bit of a devil to get off. Oh, there's something else I could try. Oh, hold on just a second. I got my order from Spellbinders today. I might do a little haul video because there's quite a few bits here. But I've got these. These are Aura Opalescent Colour Essential Sequins. So if I just pop this out. So this is a sneak preview of the haul video if I do it. If I do it, I don't know if I'll get time tomorrow because I'm supposed to be going to Oxford because with my mum's 80th birthday. Let's have a look. Oh, these are nice because they've got pink and yellows in. So let's grab my little. Alright, now these are supposed to go apparently cupward. That's how you're supposed to remember it, apparently. So I see a lot of the makers, especially the ones based in America, use quite a lot of these. So I thought I would try them. It's always nice to have a bit of a change. Stay still. And then maybe, or we could just go, where's the other, oh there it is, could just go random. Right, come here, random, maybe, a little bit random, and then you, your friend, you're really no mates. Have I got a more medium one to that one rather than another big one? Yeah, that's a bit better. Oh, we need another one though because we can't have 6, can we? Let's go with, don't like that one. Don't want them in a row. Sorry, just fiddling about with these. I quite like that, I think. Let's go with those. Okay, so let's just pop a bit of glue with those. Come on now, that's it. Bring you out just a little bit there. And then in again. Now if I had some pink ribbon, I think I would have put a little bit along there. The only ribbon I've got pink is like proper like big. I think it's like about 10. No, it's not 10 millimeters. It must be 2.5 inches. So that would have been, you know, you'd have to do that as the border or not. But that, I think, let's bring in my little brush. Just brush it onto myself. Because goodness knows I need a little bit of sparkle in my life. Okay, yeah, so I like those. So you will see more of these. I think next time I order from them, I'm going to just add a couple more colours maybe. Just for something a little bit different sometimes. They don't take up a lot of space either. So let's pop those all out the way and bring in that other card I did. Let's get rid of that rubbish. Okay, so that's the two ideas that I had with that little fairy book. There is a couple of other cards that I want to make with other companies' dies and things, so I'm still going to go ahead and do that. Probably going to show them, or well, not show them, they'll probably go straight onto Pinterest rather than on here or Facebook. So hopefully by next time I do a video, they should be you know, should be able to complete those. So it depends on what time I get back tomorrow really. Sometimes of an evening I just like to sit down with all my craft stuff and just have a little play, especially since I've been doing this challenge. And I have got another couple of cards that will go on Pinterest today. I'll take the photos after I've done these ones and add them on with a little brief description in case you wanted to copy them. That's what they're there for. They're there to inspire you, give you ideas on how to use your stash or not use it, you know, tweak it, amend it, whatever you need to do. At the end of the day, it's your art project, and there's no such thing, I don't believe, as a bad card, especially when it's made with Hunkydory bits and pieces. So, you know, I did have one lady who did say, oh, I love your cards, they're not as good as mine. And I'm like, I bet they are. Bet they are, because you always look at it with a critical eye. And I think that's the worst thing about crafters, is that we tend to criticise ourselves a lot. I mean, if a child had made this card, they'd be well happy. They wouldn't be thinking, oh, well, you know, maybe I should have moved that way, or I should have not cut that bit off. You know, we do it, do ourselves down sometimes. I think sometimes you just got to look at it through a lens, like a camera, or through somebody else's eyes, if you've not managed to get yourself to that point where you can look at your things and say, actually, I did a really great job there. Because 9 times out of 10, well, 10 times out of 10, you have. My mum used to always say, oh, you know what, I like it, but it's not as good as yours. And whose cards am I putting up now? Are they mine? No, they're mum's, because she did a fantastic job with all of her cards, and the fact that she actually struggled to make them with her breathing is another reason to have them up, because she put so much into them. And you know, you really have to value. Sorry, that's Henry. He's brought his paw back in. You really have to value your work, because you know, you do a good job. I haven't seen one card on the Facebook groups that I thought, oh well, yeah, you know, should have done that, should have done that. This could have been, you know. I never think that way. I always just look at it as a card and a project, and I've not seen one that I've ever thought, oh, do you know, oh, I wouldn't have done that. Do you know what I mean? But no, I'm rambling on again. I'm sorry. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next time with the unicorns. The unicorns are coming. We're staying in the mystical realm, and it's all silver foiling, holographic foiling, I think, on everyone. So we can make the most of that change now, go in silver for a little while. But until next time, guys, take care of yourselves. Happy crafting. Bye bye.